the character, and whether or not she is force sensitive, and why I hope to hell she is not, and how they actually confirm that she's not in the Ahsoka show, and I hope they keep that. But wait! How can she be force sensitive, not be force sensitive, and still become a Jedi? We'll talk about that in today's video. Okay, so, first off, who the heck is Sabine Wren? Sabine Wren is a Mandalorian who was part of the Ghost crew from Star Wars Rebels. That's where she came from, and I really enjoy her character. What made Sabine Wren great is that she was a Mandalorian, and she was a great character who was a girl. Yes, she was a girl. But the reason why she was a fantastic character was because they actually gave her character. And boy, did she have a lot of really great characters. Sabine Wren is indeed one of my favorite characters from Star Wars Rebels. And what made her a great character to me is the fact that she was not force sensitive, but was actually able to not only use the Darksaber, but what the Darksaber meant to her and her family within the Star Wars Rebels lore. So basically, what was going on was the Mandalorians, they were pretty much overtaken by the Empire, and it's mostly because one of the Mandalorians, another great female character in Star Wars, Bo-Katan, lost the Darksaber to the Empire. That's right, she lost the Darksaber. Now, we actually no. I'm actually thinking of what's going on with Mandalorian. That's my bad. We have... Wait. Sabine Wren finds the Darksaber thanks to Darth Maul, actually, and she trains with wait. You know what? Start this video over again. Hello guys, and welcome back to Dylan's Slow Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Sabine Wren, the character, and why she is not force sensitive even though she is being trained as a Jedi within Star Wars, the Ahsoka show. Boy, start that again because that was a terrible take. Hello guys, and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the character of Sabine Wren and how she is not force sensitive and still can become a Jedi, and why that's a good thing within Star Wars Ahsoka. So, first off, who the heck is Sabine Wren? Sabine Wren is a Mandalorian within Star Wars Rebels. She was a part of the Ghost crew. And through the story of Star Wars Rebels, we get to see her as a true great character. One of the best moments that she has from the show is actually when she actually gets the Darksaber and what that means to the Mandarin history. Because it was originally, the Darksaber was originally from the first Jedi Mandalorian, and was stolen by the House Pre-Vizsla, which, they started a little project called the Death Watch, and it turns out Sabine Wren was a family member of the Death Watch, which is just fantastic how they tie all that in. And it's even better when you actually include what they do with the Mandalorian and how that ties in with the Darksaber. But basically what happens with in Star Wars Rebels is she actually finds the Darksaber thanks to Darth Maul, actually. she kind of sneaks into Darth Maul's place along with Harrison Dilla and just happens to stumble on the Darksaber. We get it to learn in Star Wars Rebels the history of the saber as well, which is a lot of fun. Again, go watch Star Wars Rebels if you guys haven't, because there's a lot of good stuff with Sabine Wren. But she trains with not Ezra. Who was it that trained her? It was but she trains with the Darksaber in that show, and she even has this moment where she says, the lightsaber feels a little lighter, and people are now thinking, oh, well, maybe that's because she was Force sensitive. No. The whole point of her training to use the Darksaber was the idea that she might become leader of the Mandalorians, and was the only person who was probably able to bring the split world of the Mandalorians together, and there was that whole thing. But she gives the saber to Bo-Katan because Bo-Katan is actually the one with the best chance to do that. Plus, she was actually related to the previous Duchess of Mandalore, and I mean, she was also there when the last master of the Darksaber, who was a Mandalorian, was defeated by Darth Maul, being part of the Death Watch and all that. So that history with the Darksaber is all there, and it's fantastic. But the reason why I bring that up and why that stuff is important in this video is because it just shows her character and the possibility that she was Force sensitive. That's what a lot of people are going to point to with her being possibly Force sensitive. And the fact is, she is not Force sensitive. We even learn in the second episode of the Ahsoka show that she, the robot, I can't remember his name, but the robot himself says compared to Ezra, her Force abilities suck. Now, that's important because that almost confirms, not exactly, that almost confirms that she is not Force sensitive. And I prefer this, because the fact is, what is Force sensitive, right? Force sensitive means you can use the Force. That's not what that means. Force sensitive means how sensitive, that's why it's called Force sensitive. It's sensitive. How sensitive you are to the energy around you. And the fact is, you can be Anakin level Force sensitive, and without proper training, you will never be able to use the Force at all. And even if you're not, Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example, sucked at using the Force. And he was still a strong and powerful Jedi because of his training and how much he learned. And the Jedi is not just a bunch of Force sensitive people. The Jedi is a religion. That's what's important here. And anyone can be a Jedi. Everyone, just about everyone, is Force sensitive to a certain degree. But it matters on how Force sensitive you are. And they said within this episode, because of the context within this episode of the second episode of Ahsoka, that Sabine Wren is not as sensitive as someone like Ezra. In other words, she should never be able to use the Force and make something float. She's never gonna be able to do that. And I hope that they never do that with her character. We'll have to see what happens within the rest of the show. But she can still turn on a lightsaber. She can still fight like a Jedi. The Jedi were always about fighting for peace and keeping peace among the galaxy. And Sabine Wren can do that without Force powers. Which I like, because the thing is, if they gave her Force sensitivity, if they gave her all the Force powers of Darth Vader and everyone else, then it would actually, to me, kind of ruin her character within Star Wars Rebels. Because the point of her character was not that she was Force sensitive, not that she was special within Star Wars, but that she was a good fighter, a good person, and that was what was important to her, was the fights for peace and freedom, just like old Jedi have. And I don't mind this idea that she could possibly become a Jedi without Force powers. I hope they keep that route. And I also like the idea of Ahsoka training her and what that means for Ahsoka's character as well. And the comparison she has with Anakin within these 2 episodes, based off what we know between Anakin and Ahsoka. It's just fun, and I hope that they keep that with Sabine, Wren, and Ahsoka. I really hope that they don't turn Ahsoka, that they don't turn Sabine Wren into a Force-sensitive Jedi that's as powerful as Ezra or something. Because that's not what the Force is. That's not what the Jedi are. And that's what I think so far within the Ahsoka show. Could I be wrong? Yes. Here's the thing that I want to make clear with this video. This is the way I interpreted what the show has given me. And if I'm wrong, if they turn Sabine Wren into a mega ultra powered Jedi, I don't want that to happen. It depends on the way they do it. I'm not saying I would hate it. I'm willing to give it a chance. I really hope they don't go that route with her. So far they haven't, and I'm happy about that. With that said, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of Force sensitivity? What do you think of Ahsoka training Sabine Wren to become a Jedi? What do you think of Sabine Wren possibly being Force sensitive or not? Because everyone is Force sensitive. That's the whole thing. It's called sensitivity. It's sensitivity to the energy around you, which is the Force. The Force is a field of energy that combines the galaxy together. That's what we learned from episode 5. And it's how sensitive you are to that field of energy and how much you can use it. But again, without proper training, you're never going to be able to use it ever. And I like the fact that even though she might not be as sensitive to the Force as Ezra or like Obi-Wan, she could still possibly become a fine Jedi because of what the Jedi mean to the galaxy. They're all about keeping peace within the galaxy. That's why I believe in peace. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below about this, and I am out for now. Bye.